What's up guys, Nadem here with another tutorial. In this video I'm going to go over some drum processing, how you can enhance and really brighten your tracks for drums, really bringing out the shine in the high end of your snare drum and your claps, making them pop, squashing the dynamics not too harshly but getting everything kind of glued together. And in this video I have a project that is just something new I've been working on. And I have here a clap, actually more of like a snare. It's like a pre-snare, has a little delay in the beginning, so I aligned it to my liking. In this video I'm going to talk about mostly about the processing of that drum. So I'm going to solo it right here and I'll loop it for you guys. Sounds pretty good. If we play the kick as well. One thing I really like to do with my drums is adding a lot of shine and usually some sort of tube compressor, some saturation. So I have a FX chain that I created for this project. However, I'm going to start fresh so that you guys can follow and see what I'm doing. And I'll solo everything so you can hear the differences. Let's make some EQ gains. So you can use all types of different EQs. Here I'm going to use, actually I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to use a Parametric EQ 2. That is FL's actually underrated EQ. It's actually really nice. So I'm going to bring down my headset because sorry if you guys are hearing some resonance from my mic. It's because I'm wearing my headphones. And recording this, I actually have to record in Edison, so it's kind of a pain. But anyways. Cool, it's sounding better. Very simple. I just added some kind of brightness at the high end there. And one thing we can do with this is we can right click, click type, go to high pass. And what we'll do, we can see this band. I don't use this EQ too much, but I want to use this so that you guys can use this without the need of a third-party plugin. So here we're adjusting the curve, and we'll put it around 100 Hertz. As you drag it in, listen for the difference to feel the drastic effect, and then back it off. So that's nice. I like the way that sounds. So it's added a nice brightness to it, cleaned up a tiny bit of the low end without being too harsh. Next, we're gonna add some compression. So you can even keep it simple. I'm gonna use something like the you can even use a fruity compressor. Here I'm gonna use the M compressor, Melda compressor, and a lot of different reasons why I love this one, but it has a built-in limiter as well, zero latency limiter. Fantastic if you need to limit your tracks and just be rest assured that it's just brick wall limiting it. Very transparent compressor. I love the way it sounds. With compression, I usually put a drastic ratio and then go ahead and reduce my threshold until I get the desired effect, and then I might play around with the threshold, the ratio, the attack. And here visually we'll also see the gain reduction being applied here. That sounds pretty good actually. You want to keep in mind with a lot of times, unless you want to crush it, you usually want to keep some sort of short attack, 5 or 10 or maybe longer, to preserve the transient. And especially with this one, since it's beginning earlier, So this is actually giving a pretty good effect. I like the way this sounds. We can boost the gain to compensate. But it doesn't even sound bad actually with it reducing some gain. Yeah, I like the way that sounds. We might just boost a tiny bit. So pretty good. Thus far we've added some brightness at the high end. We've cleaned the low end rumble. I'm not really a big fan of the high pass filter from FL because it sounds good, and it's good if you want to quickly shape things, but for surgical things, for a lot of surgical EQs and you want to do like brick wall EQs, I probably wouldn't suggest this EQ. I wouldn't use it for mastering, but it's perfectly fine to quickly just get quick results that you want, like a quick draft and you need to make something sound good. Check it out. It's a really nice plugin. So great, we've done that. On the M compressor, we brought our settings to a ratio of 4, left everything to default, tiny little bit of boost on gain, and we did turn on the limiter anyways. I mean, I don't need to, it's not clipping. Yeah, it's not clipping. It is loud, but it's still okay. Couple things that you'd want to do at this point. I would usually add something like maybe just an extra little boost of saturation. So you could throw in something like Fabfilter Saturn. Fabfilter Saturn adds a lot of drive to your tracks, and you can control this. It's a multi-band saturator. I'm gonna boost the treble a bit, a little bit of presence. You can mess around with the different characters, but usually warm or clean will give you some good results that are not too harsh. That sounds really nice. We can drive this more to see how harsh it gets. We'll leave it about there, 15%, and plus 0.2, plus 0.35. Just very subtle. To wrap it all up together, we're going to add some reverb. Actually, lately I've been really liking the fruity reverb. The way this one works is you'd usually want to first either turn off all your dry and just solo the reverb, just so you can get an idea of how it sounds, the decay. Adjust the low cut too, because we don't want a lot of rumble here. I don't want 60 hertz of reverb coming through the clap. That will conflict with my other instruments and altogether add more low end, which I do not want. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring this up to maybe around 150 or 200. We'll leave it around there. That's not bad. Put it around 200. We'll leave everything here flat is okay. This makes it more dark, more in the background. That's a very subtle characteristics change there. Maybe 5%. And introduce the dry. Dry, sorry. If we play this with other instruments, see how that sounds. It's not bad. So overall, I'd say don't focus on adding a ton of effects on your percussion. Keep in mind most sample packs that you're using, they're already going to be EQ'd. A lot of them are EQ'd already. A lot of them have very good dynamics. They're loud to begin with, so you really don't need to pump too much. But I'd say my recommendation when it comes to electro house and big room for percussive elements in your drop, I'd say go ahead and add things like a brightness increase, high pass, maybe a roll off at like 20 kilohertz to tame the brightness that you've added to it and make sure there isn't anything too harsh. Combining that with maybe like a tube compressor or just squishing the dynamics a tiny bit, and just a tiny bit of wetness to overall give it some space in the mix, and it usually sounds pretty good. Obviously, you can add more to that, and these aren't hard rules. A lot of times, sometimes I'll even combine elements or multiply snares together, maybe have one compressing the other one, like sidechain compress one snare from another snare. But here we'll listen to it again. So you can see it gives it the nice detail that you want without being too harsh. And that's one thing you really want to keep in mind. It was a bad habit I had in the past when I wasn't using the correct gear, is I would add tons of brightness and it would drown other elements in the track, because as I add brightness to, you know, this segment here, I'm going to have to compensate and make sure everything's well rounded with the other elements. It's very important because our ear gets used to hearing a certain level, and if there's a big drop, or if your cymbals are also very dark, then it can sound unrealistic and unnatural and unpleasing to the ear. So I'd say give this a try. If you guys don't have any third-party plugins, I'd say go with the Fruity Parametric EQ, and then something like the Fruity Compressor. If you don't have any sort of saturator, there should be a free one. I'm going to see if there's maybe a free one available to link to you guys. And of course, Fruity Reverb comes with FL as well. So hope you guys like this tutorial. It's just a short one just to show you guys how to kind of boost your claps and snares in your drops. Hopefully you can take something useful from this. Love you guys. I'll see you guys soon.